Hey everyone! I had ordered an item and got it wrapped in this Japanese newspaper and immediately thought, I'm going to hold on to this because I feel like I could use this for something. I have no idea. Of course, I don't read Japanese. I have no idea what any of this says. I just think it's so beautiful. Japanese writing is so beautiful to me. And I wanted to hold on to it because I felt like somehow I could use this. I have a whole bunch of these newspapers, and somehow I thought I will use this. I've had it for years. Well, that day has arrived. I decided to glue down the paper and watercolor over it, and then I'm going to draw on top of that. So what I did, okay, I'll get rid of this. What I did was I just ripped a little piece out of the newspaper about, well, I wanted some of these pretty little bigger, bolder writings, and gave it like a rough edge. And then I glued it down onto watercolor paper. I should have taped the watercolor paper so it would have laid perfectly flat and wouldn't buckle. I'll take care of the buckle when I'm all done the project. But what I used to glue down this paper, I used this Liquitex matte medium. I've used this a lot. It's pretty good for using for art gluing. Like decoupage that you want to paint or write or draw over. However, I only put the Liquitex matte medium, there'll be a link in my descriptions if you're interested in this. I only put that on the back of the newspaper. I wasn't sure what it would do if I put it on the front. In fact, I knew I wouldn't be able to watercolor over it and have the watercolor seep into the paper. So I only glued the back and then I put it down. It dries pretty quickly. I smoothed it out and it dries pretty quickly. Then I went over the newspaper with this Prisma Art Philosophy Currents palette. I use this all the time. It's one of my favorite palettes that I own. Especially this color right here, which is this middle color. That color is, let's see, it's this Seaside. It's one of my favorite colors, especially out of this palette. So in this palette, for this project, I used Algae, this for right here. I used Seaside for the center, and then on the bottom, I used Jellyfish. And just mixed and mingled all that. And it's now dry, and I'm going to go over that. All of these things that I used will be in the description, except for the Japanese newspaper, because that is just something I have, not something I specifically purchased, just something I acquired. You can use any kind of background paper. You could use a book, anything. I wouldn't use a magazine with a glossy finish because you wouldn't be able to watercolor on top of that, but you could put probably maybe diluted acrylic. I'm not sure. So let's get started. Let's do a little design on here. Okay, so I'm going to get drawing and I will play some music and come back to you in the end. So enjoy. this was a quick Saturday morning warm-up session. I'm happy with it, just for the fact that I got a few minutes to be by myself and doodle and paint. And I think that's an important thing, is to find some time for yourself. If drawing is important to you, I think that you need to find the time, you know, over your coffee in the morning, get a sketchbook, just doodle, draw your breakfast, draw your keys, draw whatever is in front of you. It doesn't have to be anything elaborate or fancy. Just a few minutes here and a few minutes there can calm your soul. I think art is amazing for anxiety reduction and calming yourself and centering yourself. In the next video, I'm going to talk about my favorite book and how it brings me inspiration and kind of talks me into the right frame of mind and place. So look forward to that. I'm looking forward to sharing it with you all. See you next time. Bye-bye.